live stream works. Since this is only the second time doing this. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let me just get this up and running so that way I can maybe answer some stuff if I see it pop up in time. And check the audio. Once I actually get this all figured out, then it'll be a lot easier. Yep, there we go. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Fox Kit WoodWorks. We're live tonight. We're doing a little bit of night fox activities, as my friends would say, and basically getting some projects done while everyone else is sleeping. The shop's been pretty busy actually lately. We have got a big order of 40 to 50 glassware items. You can check out my Instagram page, Fox Kit WoodWorks, where I actually have those previous ones from the same client purchasing etched, we'll call it tumblers for whiskey glasses, and actually turned out really well. I was really happy with how they turned out, and they actually moved me into some other items. So currently we're going to be doing that while I talk to you guys tonight. Right now we are sitting at about 9:30, I think, our time. Yeah. And gonna get out here, get an hour of work in before I move on inside and try something else, do some editing on the computer on the inside. But anyways, tonight's video or live stream is actually going to be more about myself and my background and what actually got me into woodworking and kind of where that adventure has taken me these days. I know for me, I like knowing customers, and as a client, I like to know the person that I'm buying something from, whether it's work at my house or a specialty good. I like to have a good business owner client you know reputation, not reputation, dynamic there between us, right? And basically, I think you guys would benefit from knowing kind of more about my background while I clean a bunch of glassware. And then if anyone pops in on the chat, we're going to go ahead and answer some questions. I know it's kind of late, so we probably won't get anyone, but we'll see what happens. So first off, as I'd like to tell everyone, grab your favorite drink. Tonight I'm just having a beer, and welcome to the Fox Den. All right. So for me and where I started off, I was born and raised out here in California in a little city of Folsom. I shouldn't say born, but grew up my whole life there, and that's actually where I got my first intro into woodworking. I had a neighbor, Mr. Carmody, and he was from Wisconsin. Actually, I found out later in life he was a sheriff back there, which will lead into some of my other background. But he actually was big into woodworking and had his garage where he had his little car parked, and all around it he had workbenches set up, and we would do different types of woodworking and things out there. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old. He was like a second set of grandparents, and I would go in there and tinker around. He helped me make a little jet airplane, a Christmas tree he made me for 1 year. In fact, he found some old driftwood that looked like a bird's beak and sanded it all up to make it really look like a bird's head. And I ended up having that for years, and actually turned it into, because it's the perfect shape and size for a push stick for my table saw. So I actually use it for that. So I kind of feel nice that I get to actually kind of use something that he showed me in the shop. But anyways, like I said, grew up in Folsom. I grew up during the time when, if any of you others out there might realize this too, if they're in their 40s, that high schools were actually, I should put some gloves on for this, I don't want to mess my hands up too much, that basically you guys ended up having, shops taken away. So like, I can think of my uncles and everyone else talking about when they went to high school, how much they loved going to like metal shop or auto or woodworking or whatever, right? And got to learn a bunch of woodworking techniques or how to work on a car and repair a car. And I had my grandpa and uncles there to show me those things over, I don't know, most of my kid and adult life. But it would have been nice to be able to take some classes and learn some more things and actually use some tools that we didn't have, and kind of learn that stuff. So never got into doing any of that in high school, and really would like to see it being brought back more into our education, because we do need, our blue collar workers, our craftsmen, hands-on people like that. And it would make us a lot better, I think, as a society to have that taught, and just basic skills, instead of us being such a, you know, buy something, throw it away when it breaks, actually learn how to fix things and moving on. We become so materialistic on things. So, um, anyways, during that time frame, thought I was going to be a computer engineer. Was working that route, and then a gentleman that actually retired from Folsom PD went by the name of Bob. I'll try to keep as many names out there if I haven't talked to him ahead of time. He actually took me on a ride along when I was like 12 years old, when we were doing something for some career thing in school. And all of a sudden I was like, man, I really want to be a police officer or something. So I kind of always had this idea, because I was a big X-Files fan, with my name being Fox and main character being Fox Mulder. Hey, be kind of cool to be an FBI agent, and maybe work in computer tech crimes or something. But after doing that ride along with him, kind of figured out, you know what, I think more of a local thing would be for me instead of that. But I still was thinking of maybe doing the computer engineering and having that as a backup or something I could do. So ended up going to college out this way, and basically, um, after my first semester, didn't really like everything that was going on, and decided to go join the military. So I actually ended up joining the Army Reserves. Was in communications, thinking, hey, that might be something that might help out too, learning and working on cellular systems and radio transmission systems, things like that. I thought, hey, it'd be pretty cool. Cool job. They also, did the typical drill sergeant thing, or excuse me, not drill sergeant thing, but recruiting sergeant thing, where it's like, make it seem so cool and good, and look at all this money you're going to get from it. You need to take this job instead of the job maybe that you really wanted. And basically, at the end of the day, ended up, doing it, enjoying it. One of my best friends also joined with me at the same time, and we had a good time with it, and it's helped us out in other ways. But like, ended up doing my 6 years. But during that time, when I got back home, decided to make a huge career change, and figured, you know what, I really want to go into law enforcement. I might even stick out with this military thing and stay in the reserves longer, and try to get maybe my 20 in or something. So, you know what? I think law enforcement would be a good career path choice for that. So, finished up college, got my degree in criminal justice with a focus in, counterterrorism and investigations, and decided to go ahead and work on the process of becoming a police officer or sheriff. And after talking to a uncle of mine that was a sheriff and a local cop, he actually said, hey, you're going to go to the sheriff's academy. You're going to put yourself through if you have to, but you're going to do it. So I went through the Sacramento Sheriff's Academy back in 08, 08 SBRA 01. Still remember that. But went and did that. And, a lot like the military in a lot of aspects, especially that academy, the way they run it. Learned a lot of valuable lessons from my RTOs. And at that point, was moving on to my new career of being a cop and being a law enforcement officer. And initially got hired on with the Sacramento Sheriff's Department. Was there for a year until they had budget cuts and layoffs. And at that point, just needed a job to go somewhere. So I actually ended up making it all the way up to Humboldt County and working up at a local agency up that way for about 4.5 years. Got into working with the canines up there and assisting them, not actually being a canine officer or anything like that. But just, helping out, being a decoy, things like that. Learned a lot of good things up there too. Met a lot of good friends. And after that, actually, during that time, one of the best parts about it is I met my wife, and she was going to college up there to become a nurse. And once we, kind of made everything official for us that we were, a thing, moved in together and then started looking at where we wanted to go from there. Luckily for me, she was from this area. She was down a little bit further south toward the bay, and that meant we all wanted to, all us two wanted to actually get back to this area. So um, had a position open up out in Elk Grove, and looks like we might have to pause this live stream. Maybe we'll see what happens with the baby. Um, we'll see how long we go for. Yeah. Well, I think that might end the live stream for the night. We'll have to recontinue this on a different time. Maybe I'll be able to pop back on here in 10 or 15 minutes. But if she doesn't settle here, we're gonna have to end it. Looks like she might be ready to have some food. But all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this here, and maybe I'll see you back in a few.